Testing, 1, 2, 3, and we are live again. Welcome back to the Perspective, where I do cultural commentary, go over some life lessons, and everything in between. Guys, I have been away for some time, but I figured let's have some fun today, right? And so I figured, hey, with this big bombshell story from Fox News Sports One, Fox Sports One, whatever it is, happening, and everyone talking about it over the past couple of days, I figured why not hop on a live and chat about my thoughts with you guys, or go over my thoughts with you guys. Is probably a better way to put it. So originally I was going to do my own video on this, but then I just saw so much different summaries and other videos already out, and I figured why not just hop on here and do a reaction with you guys. So that's what we're gonna do today. So let's get into it. By the way, because I realized I didn't mention it here, the YouTuber that we're going to go over and review today is his name is JAMARI. Does a lot of good content, fun stuff, and I'm actually a fan. So shout out to him. The link will be in the description of this video. All right, let's keep going.
So a workplace can have some very interesting dynamics, especially when said workplace involves both men and women interacting on a daily basis who are at different levels of power. And today I have a story for you guys that involves alleged cheating, workplace harassment, and promises of promotions and other favors for sex. Fox Sports has been sued by a hairstylist who claims that Skip Bayless, Joy Taylor, and their vice president Charles Dixon were all doing dirty things behind the scenes, alleging that they all abused their power in one way or another, and that she was affected directly by their actions while working with and for them between 2016 and 2024 on various Fox Sports programs. This lawsuit refers to the
Okay, so we kind of already see how this is going, right? This is not really looking the greatest. This is the hairstylist, and she was the friend of that Joy Taylor, and she's pretty much coming after everybody for all the things she's seen while she was there, and ultimately creating a hostile work environment, which led her to getting fired later on. But let's keep going.
Plaintiff as Miss Faraji, saying that she started working at Fox back in 2012, but didn't become a full-time employee until 2016, when she was assigned to the show Undisputed, which was seen as a successor to First Take. In March of that year, Faraji claims to have met Joy Taylor, who is the sister of NFL Hall of Famer Jason Taylor. At the time, she was a bartender and a small-time radio host looking to break into the entertainment industry.
And actually, that little fact right there is what a lot of people keep harping on. They keep saying, well, you know, she was just a bartender before she got the job. She really didn't have the skills. And I don't know if I necessarily buy that, right? They were saying she's a bartender and she's a nepotism baby because her brother is a Hall of Famer. Again, I don't necessarily buy that. I will get more into my thoughts about it all in general as we go further and further along, but just something to keep in mind, as this, like, these little facts set the stage for how people are feeling and kind of what the temperature is like online in reference to Miss Taylor. Let's keep going.
Faraji claims that she accomplished this by essentially sleeping her way to the top. Faraji says that when they first met, Joy would ask her to hang out outside of work, and she was typically accompanied by the vice president of Fox, Charlie Dixon, and that Faraji quickly put together that the two had an intimate relationship despite them both being married. Though at the time that she met him, Faraji claims that she did not know who Mr. Dixon was, and when she did discover his position of power, she warned Joy about the potential dangers of being in that type of relationship. 1 month later, Undisputed was announced as a...
So, real quick, I mean, if they're friends and she told her that, she has a point, right? I mean, if you go along and you start to play with fire in that way, things could not go the way you would want them to in terms of your career. And I think, I mean, if this was Fox, we all know what happened with Roger Ailes, right? The fall of Roger Ailes, I think, was the start of the Me Too era. And I think a lot of this might have been, at least when this all starts, around that same exact time. So, you know, the hairstylist Faraji telling Taylor that at the time did seem like sound advice. So we'll just note that for the record. Let's keep going.
blockbuster program for Fox, and many were shocked as Joy, who had little to no experience, was given the nod to be the moderator of this new show.
Okay, so we'll cover this at rehearsal.
See you there, Joy.
Skip Bayless, you ready to make television history?
Hey, partner. Pretty great, huh?
It's awesome.
And Farah G felt that Joy got this position because of her intimate relationship with the vice president.
Joy, congratulations to you for being a third of this trio. I know you're going to do your job exceptionally well.
And even claims that once Joy's husband found out about the
And actually, real quick, a bit extra context on that, because I'm not sure if he mentions it in the video. They say that, oh, real quick, they mentioned that Skip Bayless actually didn't want a moderator, and he didn't want her to be the moderator. So in a lot of ways, her getting the job as the moderator with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp's show might have definitely been as a result of her situation with the VP. So we do want to keep that in mind, because again, that's kind of setting up the whole lawsuit here, and it's setting up a lot of the conversation online. Let's keep going.
The alleged affair, he immediately broke things off with her and threatened to go public with the information if Dixon did not pay him everything that he had spent on their wedding deposits. That man said, "I'm leaving here with something." The next year in 2017, she even claims that Dixon tried to make a move on her at Joy Taylor.
Real quick, I mean, Jamar, I see what you did there. Okay, I will acknowledge the Denzel joke. I don't think it fully landed, but I appreciate the effort. All right, let's keep going.
Taylor's birthday party, where she says that he groped her ass. Miss Farah G did not know who to turn to, but as she knew Miss Taylor was sleeping with Mr. Dixon, she turned to her. Surprisingly, Miss Taylor's response was, "Get over it," and explained that she herself only had her job because of Mr. Dixon, and that Miss Farah G only had her job because Miss Taylor had requested her. She warned that Mr. Dixon could easily take both away. And this was a
All right, see, so that little, let's bring it back real quick right here. Okay, so that part right there is kind of where a lot of this starts to go left, right? So as what's being stated here, she turned to Miss Taylor when Mr. Dixon tried to make his move, and Miss Taylor basically said, "Get over it." So this kind of gives you a bit of the mentality that Joy Taylor had, right? Where she has gotten into the game and is playing it a certain way, and she's going for it, and she is as tough as they come. She's not worried about it. So as toxic and as crazy as that environment is becoming, she basically looks at it and says, "Get over it. What are you crying about? You know, like, you're here, play the game." And in fact, this dude is in charge of both of us having jobs, and don't mess it up, right? So I mean, I feel like that, like, if, again, this is all alleged, right? But if that all is true, then I feel like this lady will likely get paid, right? Because this is all the makings of a terrible, terrible work environment, right? Where there is a lot of pressure to, do what these guys want under threat of losing your job. And I really don't see how, if you're a person who is not playing ball, figuratively and literally, this is not going to go well for you. But let's keep going. We still got more of this summary here.
That Mr. Dixon could easily take both away. And this was a stark contrast from how Joy publicly presents her journey in the industry.
You have to constantly reaffirm that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So I would just always say you gotta do twice the work to get half the opportunity. But that, to me, the mentality I've always had on it is that's just gonna make me better. So that's why I'm excellent. I couldn't be average, I couldn't be okay, I couldn't be late, I couldn't complain, I couldn't say no. Now I do.
Right.
And this really kind of
All right, real quick. And I'll probably get more into this or reiterate it later on. That that clip is one that I was going to react to later on. I didn't remember it was actually in this video, but I think it's a good point to pause on and talk about for a second, right? So basically, she goes in the clip and she's talking about how she has to be twice as good in order to make it in this field. And a lot of people, after these allegations are coming out, are pretty much looking at her and saying, like, well, like, yeah, right, you just slept your way to the top. And that's where I'd argue, I don't know if I buy that. And what I mean is it possible that she slept with some executives to get the opportunity to be in certain positions? Figuratively and literally. Yes. Yes, it's very possible. Again, alleged, if all what we're seeing here is true. But on the flip side, getting the opportunity is one thing, but being able to have the skills to keep the job after giving the opportunity and perform, that's where you actually need to have the talent and you actually need to have the skills. I'll tell you what, I don't really watch Fox Sports 1. The only sports I typically follow is UFC, MMA. I watch mixed martial arts almost exclusively. When it comes to all the other sports, I'm not paying attention. So a lot of these shows, I really don't know anything about. But I will say this, if she has been working at Fox Sports 1 for all these years, even after getting maybe her first role and her second role, probably not in the greatest ways, if she was able to continue leading the network in having her own shows and keeping high ratings and leading discussions and all these different things, then that is talent. Make no mistake about it. So I understand it doesn't look great if she got there a certain way, but talent is talent. And a lot of the times people are just looking for the opportunity to display their talent. And I think she's more than likely talented and isn't just like some person who, slept their way there and had zero talent and has taken the position from someone else. I'm not sure if that's the case, but, and we'll get more into this later. I will say, if she did, again, it's all alleged, if she did play those games, she did help propagate a work environment that made it so where if you are a person coming up and you don't decide to play ball, that you cannot even be given the opportunity to go forward. So again, if all this is allegedly true, then that's the flip side to the game she has been playing there. And that's kind of why things are terrible at Fox Sports 1 and Fox in general, because this kind of happened again with Roger Ailes and his stepping down and everything that happened during the Me Too era. So, all right, let's keep going. We still got more of this summary. So,
To set the stage for the next 8 years, as sexual favors for career opportunities would become an alleged running theme at Fox Studios. She says that Joy Taylor actually did the same thing in sleeping with Emmanuel Acho to help secure her spot on her show called Speak that aired back in 2022.
I will be joined by the one and only Joy Taylor, the greatest female opinionist on television. Joy Taylor, why are you so excited about the show?
I'm excited because I'm the oldest on the show, so I have to give all the lectures and be right. And we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
In approximately February 2020.
All right, so I mean, don't get me wrong, that does not look good at all. Apparently, she did it twice, right? She got the first role, and then she, got the second role. So not looking good so far. But let's keep going.
Ms. Taylor asked Ms. Fahari to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. When Ms. Faraji arrived, she found Mrs. Taylor with a man, Emmanuel Acho. Fahari did not know Acho, but could tell that the two were romantically involved. A few months after me and Acho at lunch, Fahari noticed him in the hallway at work. Fahari later asked Joy Taylor if Acho worked at Fox, and Joy confirmed and explained that she wanted Acho to eventually recommend her on the show Speak for Yourself, which ended up being Speak. Fahari became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that she should not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Acho at the same time, as Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man that may become very angry. Mrs. Taylor told her not to worry about it. She explained that she is also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she will follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her. She would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talent. Now,
Okay, hold on. hold on. Now this is kind of where it gets crazy in my view. I mean, and again, I will reiterate my position on this. This right here is the darkness. This is the full dark side of it all. Because I would say at this point, Miss Taylor has been moving like a Game of Thrones character at this point. She isn't just and by that I mean she is very calculated and playing politics on a different level. So understand like what is happening here. She started messing with this Mr. Dixon guy, the VP, and that likely got her her first position, right? And at this point later on, she's looking to get onto a new show, and so you have this football player, ex-football player, Acho, kind of the same deal. They're they're getting acquainted, and they probably have a situation going. And again, you're not going to make me care about two consenting adults doing what they do. I'm sorry, guys. I don't care. I don't care whether or not it gets her in a better position or not. It's hard for me to care that much when two consenting adults do things. But again, we'll talk about the nuances in a bit. But this part over here, where they said that she basically told the hairstylist, Faraji, don't worry about it. Because if Mr. Dixon gets upset or basically, when she finds him no longer useful, she'll follow through on a plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her. Because she would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women's talent. That right there is insane. Because this, after her having a consensual situation with this dude and getting what she wanted from him, said, if things start to turn left, I got the power now, and I will lobby a false allegation at this man and get this man fired. On one hand, if something like that did happen, I'm not going to lie, I'm not feeling sorry for Mr. Dixon either. Because you play the game, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, right? You play that game, things like that can happen. But at the same time, I cannot condone such BS. That is insane to hear, and to even think of the prospect that someone would come forth and think that was a potential plan. And you know what? This was one of my options for if things start to hit the fan, right? So I think right here, this is where people, and I feel like this, again, is really where the sentiment online starts to feel like, oh, we don't mess with this girl. Because this part right here, hold on. Sorry, guys. Do a lot of talking. And sometimes you just feel like you're dying. Sorry. Main point. Oh, man. My bad, guys. All right. All right. Anyways, all I'm saying is I think seeing that right there gives you all you need to, like, I think that's the moment, for me at least, where even if you're kind of like, oh, yeah, I'm on her side, she can do what she got to do, she's playing the game, it is what it is, that right there should give you pause. That's ridiculous, right? Like, like, the weaponization of intimacy, right? We could say there's broader trends here, right? The whole Me Too era was a result of like dudes like, again, like Roger Ailes, or what's that guy, that director, that Hollywood guy, Weinstein. These guys kind of like demanding sexual favors in order to get advancement in, people's particular fields. But it wasn't only advancement. It was, if you don't do this, you get blacklisted, and it's not just advancing within the context of the company that they worked on. It was, they had pull to stop advancement everywhere. Like they had connections and say, hey, don't hire this girl anywhere. But inversely, if women are weaponizing SA allegations, then in order to destroy men in this case, then that is equally as bad as well, because the allegation alone is enough to destroy you. It's not about whether or not it's true. The allegation alone, a lot of the times, gets you killed in the court of public opinion. And so even having a situation like this where somebody could potentially, or they plan to weaponize their situation, To lobby a false essay allegation is crazy. Again, I ain't, losing no sleep over the Dixon guy, because if he's doing that with her, he's doing that with everyone else. He's creating the culture and getting people fired if they don't play ball. I don't care for him, right? So again, live by the sword, die by the sword. But the prospect in general is wild. And I guess the only caveat I would say is, the only thing I'm not sure about is if she would do that to anyone or she would just do that to him, because she's thinking, well, you're in the game, you're doing these things, and so again, you can die by the sword as well. Or is it she was willing to do this to anybody who ultimately was going to get in the way of her career advancement and her position at Fox Sports 1. So yeah, pretty crazy. Okay, let's move forward.
Her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her. She would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talent. Now, I want to be beyond clear here when I say these are all allegations. But if this is true, and Joy's plan was to say that this man forced himself upon her once shit hit the fan, and their intimate relationship came to light, that is one of the most insane statements I've ever heard. And when word started to get out around the office about her allegedly sleeping her way to promotions, HR did question Faraji about this, and basically her speaking her version of the truth was the beginning of the end of her employment at Fox, as she says she began to be ostracized by Joy Taylor. Now when it does come to Joy, this is where her part of the lawsuit is concluded. The other big player here is obviously Skip Bayless, who Faraji says developed deep feelings for her over the years, and that he expressed these feelings multiple times to no avail. Faraji says that when she first met Skip, he would discuss his life, his work at Fox, and other innocuous matters. However, soon after the weekly haircut started, Mr. Bayless began finding excuses to touch Faraji.
Yo, that picture is crazy. All right, let's keep going. My bad.
Would give her lingering hugs after each haircut, putting his body against her own, pressing against her breast. He then began to kiss on her cheeks. Miss Faraji was uncomfortable by the physical contact and would make excuses to leave right after the haircuts, like saying she needed to pick her son up from school. She also claims that he would make suggestions.
That's kind of wild, isn't it? Like that's kind of wild, isn't it? Like it's funny. I'm over here drinking this water, and it turns out Skip Bayless at this case, in this at this particular point in the story, is way more thirsty than I am trying to get water and not die. So, just a thought. Let's keep going.
Comments about her body and how voluptuous she was. Over the years, Mr. Bayless continued to make advances on Faraji, lingering hugs, kisses on the cheek, and inappropriate comments that he could change her life if she would have sex with him. In July 2021, Faraji developed issues with her left ovary and advised it could be cancer. With a fourth biopsy scheduled, she explained her situation to Mr. Bayless, hoping that he would take pity on her and cease his advances. Instead, Mr. Bayless told her that he wanted to be with her. Faraji panicked and began rambling that there were cameras everywhere, that she has a child, and that she does not want him. Mr. Bayless allegedly then grabbed her hands, began kissing them, and offered her $1.5 million to have sex. I mean, let's be honest.
Hold on. Guys. How down bad do you have to be to offer somebody $1.5 million for one time to sleep with them? Really? How down bad do you have to be? I mean, I will say this though. Number one, it's pretty terrible, right? But a couple things here. For me, dude, just sitting here on YouTube, 1.5 million is a lot of money, right? And so in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, that's a couple of years. And like selling like your home and all these different things in order to even pull that kind of money. So it's a large figure. But I heard something about Skip Bayless getting like, I mean, dude is probably, I forgot the number of his last contract in 2020, but we're going to say it was like over 30 mil, right? And that was just for that year, let alone what he already got paid before that point. So for a regular person, 1.5 million is a lot of money. For Skip, it's probably a drop in a bucket, but it's still down bad. I don't care, right? It's still pretty terrible. And I think the one thing I think about is, again, like being that rich and having access, well, sorry, being that rich and being able to spend your money and get most things that you want is, I think, what leads a lot of rich people into doing crazy things, right? Like no Diddy, right? It's it's the idea that they can use their money to typically pay for anything that they want, but for the things they can't get for money, it drives them crazy. Because with the way, like with how thirsty Skip is over this hairdresser, it makes no sense to me. I feel like if she doesn't want you, you're Skip Bayless. Regardless, I mean, you're married, but like we understand how a lot of these celebrities work. He can still go out there and get most girls that he might be interested in. I'm not going to say all, because he's not getting the one he wants in this case, but it just seems kind of weird, right? Like, this is at your workplace. I typically think you shouldn't, I'm trying to be YouTube friendly. You shouldn't dump where you eat, right? And so it just seems weird that he would do that. But again, I heard in some of the other summaries of this story that there was at this point a culture at Fox Sports 1 of doing stuff like this. And I didn't hear the context added in this video, but one of the reasons why Skip was so down bad is because they we'll say a lot of the people who worked there were trying to be the guy who slept with Faraji, the hairdresser, and he wanted to be the guy. And so, that we saw earlier in the summary where that Dixon guy tried, and I think that at one point, and I'm not sure if it's going to be mentioned here, but Skip was upset because he thought she was with Shannon Sharp, his co-host, but also his arch nemesis, right? They just argue each other on the show. So I think at the point in which he tried to go ahead and offer her this 1.5 million, that again was him being super down bad, in addition to being desperate, right? So again, I just find it really funny where it's like you have all the money in the world and you are begging somebody for one shot, one chance, and throwing money at them. Wild, right? Wild. All right, let's keep going.
Be honest, guys, 1.5 million bones for a one-night stand has to be the most insane tricking I've ever heard. Approximately 1 week later, Skip makes another advance at Miss Faraji. Faraji responds, "Skip, stop, you have a wife." And then Skip allegedly responds, "Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have 3 to 4 wives?" Faraji responded that her father was dead, and when Mr. Bayless looked taken aback, she
Oh, okay, wait, no, I'm not laughing that her father was dead. Oh yeah, okay, hold on. It's just terrible, right? I mean, read, Skip, stop, you have a wife. Mr. Bayless responded, "Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have like 3 to 4 wives?" That is a wild response, right? Like, that is actually a wild response. And again, that just speaks to the level of down badness that Skip Bayless has at this point, because he's doing whatever he can to persuade her, but it has gone beyond the point of embarrassing. So yeah, let's keep going.
made an excuse to leave. I mean, she really does make it sound like Skip was infatuated with her, saying that he became enraged when he was told by Mr. Dixon that she was having a sexual relationship with his co-host Shannon Sharp, something that she denies. Mr. Bayless responded, "I have love for you, and I have for 6 years, and you hurt me, and you are ruining this." Faraji again responded that she must be polite to all talent. Skip then implied that if he stopped requesting her, it would affect her job. Faraji responded that she is scheduled to work every morning at 5:45 a.m., and if he would like to get his hair done, he is welcome to sit in her chair. Mr. Bayless continued to threaten her job. Faraji knew that he was trying to pressure her into having sex with him, but she kept repeating that she was a professional that had to be kind to all the talent. So she's claiming that all these sick power games for sexual favors were being thrown around this workplace, and that most of the
Real quick, I didn't want to pass on that. I feel like I just want to address that real quick, because I would say it probably is a situation, or probably is a problem, especially during this time, for some of the women in that industry who try to go forward when there is that culture. In this case, you have a situation where she has to be nice to everybody, but then everyone who's dealing with her thinks that she's just like flirting with them. and so then they think she's making a pass at them. And so again, with the culture that they had at Fox at the time, it comes off one way. And so Skip just thinks she's kind of flirting and playing with him and leading him on. And to be fair, we weren't there. So perhaps maybe she did play into some of that a little bit. But if what she's alleging here is true, she never did, and she's just nice to everybody, then that's a perfect situation where I think the kindness is the kindness leads to we'll say a misunderstanding of intentions. And I can see that type of thing being the reason why some women just walk around with resting bitch face, right? Because they don't want some guys to pretty much get the wrong impression by just getting by just smiling at them. And I wish life wasn't like that. I wish the world wasn't stupid and we didn't understand each other as much. But these are the games, and these are the things that happen within the social dynamics of our existence. So just thought I'd talk about that real quick. All right, let's keep going. We're almost done with the summary.
Checks and balances that are supposed to be in place to make sure things like this do not happen were corrupted themselves. So the entire system was allegedly made to protect those doing the bad things and punish anyone who had something to say about it. So obviously this is a story that could involve the entire company, maybe even people who are not listed in this lawsuit once they get to digging, and it's my prediction that this woman is about to get paid. And there's a saying in show business that the show must go on, and for Joy Taylor, I guess she was following this rule because only one day after being named in this lawsuit, she was back to host her program Speak. People noticed that she covered up her body. Okay, usually she's wearing some quite provocative clothing. And really pay attention to the three guys hanging out in the background. It's Michael Irvin, Paul Pierce, and Keyshawn. Just look at how far away they stay from her and how they just don't know what to do as they try and act like they don't know what the fuck is going on.
Welcome to Speak. I'm Joy Taylor here with Keyshawn Johnson, Paul Pierce, and the playmaker Michael Irvin.
They're like, keep your distance, man.
Hold on. I think I have this clip because this actually is pretty wild. Hold on. I think I do have that clip. 1 second. Because that is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, hold on. Here it is. We will come right back here. And we will. Oh, that's actually not it. One. Okay, cool. My bad.
Paul Pierce and the playmaker Michael Irvin. It's Victory Monday for some and Vacation Monday for others.
Actually,
but
oops.
for the ones who did have Victory Monday.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties here. Hold on. All right, we're back. My bad. All right. Here we go. Let's check it out.
Michael.
Vacation.
Speak. I'm Joy Taylor here with Keyshawn Johnson, Paul Pierce, and the playmaker Michael Irvin. It's Victory Monday.
All right. Yeah, he's right. He's right. This is super awkward energy that we're watching right here. Super awkward energy. As we're looking here, these guys have no clue where to put themselves. She's standing over here because she is also, I mean, look, she's a professional, right? She's trying to maintain her cool and the show is going on, but mind you guys, this is like, I think this was on Monday, maybe Tuesday, and this lawsuit came out on Friday. And so you have dozens of news articles and videos going up and all these different things trending on Twitter at this point where she had to show up and do this show. And these people are on the internet as well. They know what's going on, and they had to show up and act like they didn't know what was going on. So that's what makes this kind of hilarious. And what we're watching here is super awkward energy. But I respect the game. They're trying to be professional, which is what you have to do. Keep trucking forward, right? So
Monday for some and Vacation Monday
awkward.
for others, but for the ones who did have Victory Monday.
Awkward. This guy just threw a pitch.
Michael.
And see, this guy's not even trying. This guy over here is not even trying. He's just sitting down. He's just letting the time pass. He's not going to even try to. I mean, this guy's trying to be loose. Oh, I want to throw a pitch. The other guy over there is, oh, I'm gonna do a kick real quick. And this guy's not even trying. So you know what? I understand. All right, let's get back to the summary.
In this shit.
It's Victory Monday for some and vacation
I know my guy did not throw a pitch.
for some and vacation Monday for others.
That's so
but
fucking
for
funny.
the ones who did have Victory Monday,
And let me just say, I was a big fan of Joy on Undisputed. I think she did a great job, but maybe that was just me being a horny 21-year-old at the time. They said people shocked about Joy Taylor and Acho like they wasn't at the crib together. Yeah, I mean, this dude was at the crib with his socks off.
Wild. All right, let's keep going.
And you know, people have to start digging up the past when something like this comes out. And so they found this video and people are saying, oh, this is outside of Joy Taylor's apartment. And this guy cannot stop smelling those hands.
Just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak,
Rehearsal, huh?
and I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor, a woman, a black woman, daily show.
Internet
sports.
is funny.
Do you all
Internet
realize
is
how
funny.
hard it is to get into the position that she is in?
Oh, my finger. And just wait, in a second, this dude's gonna smell his thumb. He's a sick fuck.
So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we
Oh
don't
my
even
God.
care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you.
All right. All right.
And it's funny, he
All right, the internet is crazy. Real quick, I just, and I think the summary is really about done. I think at this point he's just going to start going into trolling and the funny little tidbits on the internet. But real quick, just to respond to what Acho was saying there, and this is what's kind of in my mind kind of weird about the whole situation, right? Is the fact that everything he's saying about her, in my mind, can still be true, even if some of the allegations are true. Because as I mentioned, if she messed with the executive and she messed with him in order to get the recommendation for the job, at some point, she still had to have the talent to stay employed. She had to have the talent in order to stay in that position. Her actions to get to the position was just to get the opportunity. But talent is what keeps you there. So again, I don't know too much about her. And so if you guys know and you think I don't know what I'm talking about at all, and you guys watch her and you think she's completely talentless, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But from what I can see, and in some of these clips and just hearing her talk, I feel like I'm looking at someone who has some serious talent. And so regardless of what she might have done to get there, I think it's everything he's saying about her can still ring true. It just, at this point, given what we know now, looks terrible. And it winds up being like the majority of people looking at him and thinking, well, of course you would say that, right? I mean, thinking to themselves, of course you would feel this way about her, given what you guys, given the relationship and the nature of the relationship you guys have. But no, I just think, two things can be true at the same time. Okay. I think it is possible, again, if allegedly, if the allegations are true, then she likely slept her way to opportunities. But I also think that does not necessarily mean she does not have the talent. And had she not done those things, if she was given that opportunity, she wouldn't still be in the position she's in right now. So that's why when I see these video of like Acho talking about her and everyone clowning him now as a result of the revelations from the lawsuit, again, allegations of the lawsuit, it looks bad, but also I don't think it is an inconsistent thing or something that is completely off and doesn't make sense. Okay, real quick, guys. We're gonna probably wrap soon. I just wanted to go over a couple of other things here, just to kind of I guess round out a lot of the feelings that people have about Joy Taylor, given everything that's happened up to this point. So I'm gonna pull up another clip, and again, it's gonna be one of those clips that look bad, given the given what we know, but it is also I think there's some nuance to it. So hold on one second. I'm going to find. So okay, yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna find one clip that doesn't look good because, of course, it doesn't.
Leave the game if the seats were.
Okay, one second. I got this clip here. Okay. All right, real quick. This is well, let's just watch it together and we'll talk about it after.
Would you leave the game if the seats were high, or if a man took you this place on a first date, what you would do? And I'm telling you, like, every interaction that I have with people now, in some way or another, these things come up. Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money, you're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talked on Instagram about how you would never, and this woman ain't because women this and men this. You're moving forward with this person. Would you leave?
Okay, so so people are finding clips like this now, and they're saying, well, those are allegations, but it kind of feels like the mentality and the thinking that you are sharing with the world here is consistent with how you probably moved in that lawsuit. Again, the allegations, right? And to that I say, yeah, it looks bad. It looks bad. It looks bad. But also, I feel like what she's saying here is probably true for most people. I understand a lot. Like when I'm doing this, it seems like I'm trying to simp here. I promise, guys, I'm not. I just like nuance, okay? And I think she actually makes a good point there. A lot of people do claim that they would not do certain things ever. But really, they're virtual signaling. They're virtual signaling online or amongst themselves, and that is kind of the problem with hypotheticals, right? People, you're not in the situation, so you get to like be the grandest person you can be. You can have the highest moral character you could aspire for, but at the end of the day, it's not real. It didn't happen in front of you. It's kind of like, it's like a little bit. It's analogous, but it's not directly related. But it's basically that whole phrase that Mike Tyson had, where he says, "Everyone has a plan till you get punched in the mouth," right? Which is like, we can talk about what you would do in situations, but like, what do you actually do in the situation? In his case, he was actually talking about punching someone in the mouth, but it's a great analogy for life, right? Sometimes people get put in positions when there are professional positions, romantic positions, whatever they might be, and people say that they aren't going to do certain things, and then given the circumstance, because context always matters, things change. So people are just looking at this clip and they're clowning her more about it. I personally don't see anything wrong with it. I think she makes a good point. But yeah, it doesn't look good. Okay, there is one more clip I think I want to go through. One or two more things, and then I think we'll probably wrap up here. Let's see, we've been going for about 40 minutes. Thanks for being here with me up to this point, guys. It's been a lot of fun. All right, let me get together some of the last clips, and then I think we are probably good. Give me 1 second. I need to find it here. I have some notes and I cannot seem to locate it. Okay, I think I know where it is. All right, so I wanted to go over. Let me share this. I wanted to go over, and I hope this is the full clip that I have bookmarked here. I wanted to go over this clip one more time because she mentioned something at the end that everyone is particularly focused on. And again, it looks terrible for her, but I think, well, nuance in context matters. So let's talk about it. But let's check out the video one more time.
Not how hard it is to do the show I work on. Wake up call, same time. How would I not know how hard it is to do the show I work on? You have to constantly reaffirm that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So I would just always say you gotta do twice the work to get half the opportunity. But that, to me, the mentality I've always had on it is that's just gonna make me better. So that's why I'm excellent. Because I had to be. I couldn't be average. I couldn't be okay. I couldn't be late. I couldn't complain. I couldn't say no.
Right there. Right there. That right there. Hold on.
Now I do.
Okay, hold on. Just one more time. If y'all didn't catch it. If y'all didn't catch it. Right there. Right there at the end.
Because I had to be. I couldn't be average. I couldn't be okay. I couldn't be late. I couldn't complain. I couldn't say no. Now I do.
Right.
Wake up.
Okay. So that right there kind of sums up my whole position on this thing, is that she likely has played the Game of Thrones, right? And what it appears is that she kind of played like a, I'm trying to think of the word. It's almost like a two-prong strategy kind of thing. So on one hand, I think she may have allegedly used her sexuality to get ahead, to get opportunities that otherwise would not have come in the time in which she got them. At the same time, I also think she is a go-getter and she is talented and she is doing everything she can to really play the game and play the game well. So unfortunately, what this means is that she has compromised some, like, she cannot have the position of I am of high integrity and moral values and character. If that's what she did, like, there's really, like, you cannot wave that banner if this is kind of what happened. But at the same time, there's a little bit of a I don't know, respect for the game. I think, and it again, it looks really bad, and I cannot condone it, but I understand what is happening here, and that's kind of what she's saying. I just think that part at the end, though, which is pretty wild, where she said, "I can't say no." It's like, yeah, clearly, right? Allegedly, and it's just, yeah, it's pretty wild. That's all I'll say there. And it's funny too, because there is, I'm gonna pull this up, kind of like to put a button on all of that, and how terrible it all looks when you take that clip and put it into context, is because of course this is what people are doing. The internet has found a tweet from her this is from 2022. Okay. Where she says, "Women can exist in spaces with men without being with them. I know it's a wild concept." Now, mind you, this is in February of 2022. So, if what they have alleged is true, this is after she was with the Mr. Dixon guy in order to get on the show with Shannon and Skip. And this is also after she got on the show with Acho. And this is what she said. Again, two things can be true. It is possible, I guess, right? Not I guess. I know it is possible for women to exist in space without being with them. I'm not stupid here. I understand how life works. But at the same time, it just seems like this is the absolute wrong messenger. And given the context, people are now, you know, reposting under this clip memes like this, because why wouldn't you, right? So, oh man, the internet is always going to internet. So remember that whenever you are dealing with the situation as a public figure, the internet will pull receipts and they will not let you live it down. So yeah, this is it's pretty bad. I guess let's see. I guess we'll wrap with this. We'll just kind of do a scan, because I'll be honest, and I'm sorry guys, I did not really know anything about this person, and I could admit that, as I just, like I told you, I don't watch these kind of sports. If it's not MMA, probably not watching it. So I don't know a lot of the characters. I only know the really popular figures. So like I did know who Skip was, I did know who Shannon Sharp is, and I did know who like Stephen A is. Everyone else, unless you were a former fighter, I would not know who you are, right? So my bad. All right, real quick, we will just you know what? We're okay. Real quick, I was gonna say we will scan. We'll do what's called an Instagram scan here, to get a feel of, I guess. I mean, okay. I always say that social media is the highlights, right? People don't you don't know who people really are by looking at their social media, but social media tells a story sometimes. So sometimes, depending upon what pictures the people or the person has in their profile, people will use that to judge you. That's kind of what I'm getting at, right? And so, what I'm trying to look here is what we're looking at here, guys. The Instagram of a person who would have done what we believe, what she is alleged to have done. And I'd say people looking at this on the internet are likely going to say yes. So I just had to do a quick scan. I am somewhat internet brained, and I have a feeling that is probably where most of the hate starts from. So anyways, guys, in summary, Skip is down bad. 1.5 million for a one night stand is wild. And it's sad to see, but again, not surprised when rich people are able to get everything they want with their money, and they can't get something that they want, they get desperate. So that doesn't surprise me at all. And in terms of Joy Taylor here, again, I think even if she slept with these people to get the opportunities, I still think she needs the talent to maintain the roles. So it's not great. But I think two things can be true. It doesn't mean she's talentless, but it also means she probably doesn't have the highest of integrity. Guys, it was fun. Thanks for joining this live stream with me, and let me know if you like this kind of topics, and what else you'd like to see from me. So until next time, that's my perspective. What's yours? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe, as I got much more content like this on the way. So until next time, YouTube.